So 2 weeks after they met in the Community Shield, it's West London this afternoon and the home of the champions. The team they took that title off are here by way of opposition, of course. It is Chelsea against Arsenal. At last, these two clubs get it on after a summer of verbal sparring.
A war of words has begun between Jose Mourinho and Arsene Wenger following allegations that Ashley Cole was...
I never let the boy just play against
There's no
him.
smoke without fire.
Jose Mourinho has accused Arsenal of receiving preferential treatment.
The Arsenal, I don't know why, but they have always 2 days to rest.
Arsene Wenger disregarded the claims of Peter Kenny.
He doesn't bother a lot about the statements of Peter Kenny.
Arsene Wenger has intensified his war of words with Chelsea, claiming the club paid too much for some...
I feel that's where they go, they may have to pay a few millions more.
Sean, this is his opinion. What can I say? It's Chelsea and Arsenal, and nobody likes to lose.
You bet. We are in the company still of Jamie Redknapp. Niall Quinn has joined us. We will talk in a moment or so. Before we do, team news, which is very interesting. Crespo starts for Chelsea this afternoon. Drogba takes a place amongst their substitutes alongside Michael Essien. Otherwise, it is the team that played and won with Crespo's winner at Wigan last week. Arsenal, no Dennis Bergkamp. Kleb makes his debut left side of a four-man midfield. Robert Pires will play where Bergkamp generally does, just behind Thierry Henry. Dennis Bergkamp amongst the Arsenal substitutes. Jamie, how does that change Chelsea? Crespo for Drogba, if at all?
I think it changed them in the fact they won't be perhaps quite so direct. In the Community Shield, I think that they realised Drogba was calling centre was such a problem. Every time the ball went forward, he looked like he was going to get on the end of it. He got his 2 goals by what Arsene Wenger said were long balls. I perhaps think that you're using the best of your ability, and when you realise that Drogba is causing centre was a problem, you use it, and that's what they got. They got 2 goals out of it. I'm sure that he'll be pleased to see Crespo playing rather than Drogba, because he had a real problem with him in the Community Shield.
So you saw that game, didn't you?
Yeah.
You were there with us to watch the Community Shield, and Drogba gave him a torrid time.
Yeah.
We know that Crespo got the winner last week. Are you a little surprised that Drogba doesn't start?
I'd be devastated if I was him. And I mean, there may be a small niggly injury that we haven't heard about. I don't think so. It looks as if it's a decision that Mourinho makes from time to time that some of us scratch our heads at. That's why he's manager, that's why he does those things. But if I was Drogba there now, I mean, what more did he have to do? Okay, didn't play well last week, but who did at Chelsea? I know Crespo came on and got a goal. But I feel sorry for him. And a great goal.
Yeah,
okay, he should have been dropped then. Yeah. No, but it is quite amazing. But that just shows you when you're up there with all these players he's got, that's what's going to happen. Life is tough around Chelsea, even for the stars. They've got to keep churning it out week in, week out.
Does it smack a little bit of accommodating Crespo because he came on and got that winner?
No, not really. I'm sure Jose Mourinho's looked at it today. He feels it's right to play Crespo. He's been in great form. I think he scored a couple of goals during the off-season against Brazil in the World Cup qualifier. He's just been in really, really good form. And I mean, he's got a point to prove this season, I believe, because he went back to Milan last year and played, the Champions League final, scored in that. And I feel this year he'll really want to show something. And he looked like he did when he came on last week. His goal was out of the top drawer. I cannot tell you how good a goal this is.
How many times do you hear coaches say turn him inside?
Yeah.
They did, Wigan.
Yeah, I know. But he's on his wrong foot, and I think it's a sensational finish.
Yeah, so late in the game, everybody thinks the game is up, we're going to hold on, then to just pluck a bit of magic out like that was fantastic. But, again, I keep going back to it, Drogba gave Saunders such a tough time, and the strength was the main factor in that. Now, he'll bring a different problem to Saunders. I think he'll turn him, he'll twist him, he'll be making runs off him, and maybe Mourinho thinks that he can also do a job on him in that way. But, it's
Michael Essien has done an article today in one of the national newspapers suggesting he hasn't got a great deal to learn, that at 22 he is the complete player.
Yeah.
Shall we give him a little room for manoeuvre and say that perhaps something was lost in the translation?
I hope so.
Bearing in mind we know he speaks English.
Yeah, well, he speaks perfect English, but I do hope that he doesn't quite mean it that way, and that the media might have got it out of him differently than he wanted, because quite frankly he'll have an awful lot to learn when he sets at the Premiership hot seat, and also at the #1 spot that Chelsea are, and the fact that he mightn't get a game every week.
He certainly looks so strong. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm a huge Idaho Johnson fan. I mean, Ida To be fair, it wasn't his best last week, but I feel it's not a foregone conclusion that he's going to take the place of Ida Good-Johnson or, Frank Lampard and Makelele. I think their positions are solid. I think, but Ida's a top player.
And how good an impersonation do you think Robert Pires can do of Dennis Bergkamp today?
Well, Robert Pires can score goals, and I think if he can ghost into positions and get free of markers, which is what his strength was coming from midfield areas, then he could find himself with a whole new sort of, not career at Arsenal, but certainly a whole new attitude in the way that he'll go about his things. He will sort of not be flaunting in from the right wing. He'll be there getting in those little areas where his little magic can make things happen and also get free of people. I'm sure Thierry Henry will enjoy it, because I think, with great respect to Dennis, as good as he is at making those lovely little things happen that nobody can do but him, I think Pires has a bit more pace and also be able to help Henry out getting on the end of things, because when you're playing little 1-2s and stuff, Dennis was always static. I mean, it's a very small fault to pick up, but when he plays something into Henry and it came back to him, there was never the option of bursting by people that Pires has. So it might add a little bit more to the mix,
Let's remind ourselves how these two teams opened last weekend. Arsenal, of course, had Highbury for the last time. Time running out for the famous old arena, and for 30 minutes they had a difficult time against Newcastle United. Until this.
Gilberto on the floor. And it's a red card for Jermaine Genius. Newcastle are down to 10 men. Here's back for Arsenal, going down, and a penalty is given. It is Thierry Henry. And he just got it past the fingertips of Shea Given. Lauren to Ljungberg. Van Persie's waiting in there, and Van Persie has scored! It is all over. Arsenal are off to a winning start.
But if that was difficult, what about the champions at Wigan? In truth, for the most part, they got a chasing, and he knew it.
Chimbonda. And Teal's got time to take a touch here and now get his cross in. And he does. Oh, it's off the top of the bar from Damien Francis. Gary Teal. Andres Johansson. What a chance. Crespo shot!
What an absolute dream of a finish from Hernan Crespo.
A rabbit pulled out of the hat by the champions.
And it's a goal that gets better every time you see it, doesn't it? Well, the two managers here have had plenty to say all summer long, as we've heard. What have they had to say about this one ahead of the match?
We have started well. We go to Chelsea, and maybe we are not completely at their best at the moment.
Mind games don't win matches, Mind games don't win matches. Players win matches on the pitch, and managers win matches by preparing the team well and reading well the game. So the game is about us.
The Premiership is Premiership, and every time we want to respond in a Premiership game against Chelsea, we do it. And therefore, of course, it will strengthen our belief before the game.
This week, Ricardo Carvalho has had an outburst. Are Chelsea in less than perfect condition going into this game?
I don't think so. I think the situation with Ricardo was good for the group. Was bad for him. Was good for the group. I had to show the group what the way I react and the way I solve this kind of problem. So I think in the end of the day was a mistake, and the groups can learn with mistakes. So that situation for me is over, and good for the future of our group.
The difficulty of our job is, of course, to keep players focused, not especially happy, because a player is a competitive animal, and without competition is unhappy, but it's part of his job to deal with that as well.
You never successfully defended the title. That's now Chelsea's task. How does it make a season harder?
Well, the weaknesses the difficulties come from within your team, not from your opponents, I feel, because you gain a little bit more respect when you have won, but you can become a little bit easier as well, and you get your players focused more on the European Cup, on the FA Cup. You haven't won it the year before, and the game you won sometimes 1-0 the season before, you just get a draw or you lose 1-0 because you have a little bit less urgency in the team.
The game in Wingham was bad. We played very bad. I think I was clear in the end of the game. But again, sometimes it's a wake-up call when you lose matches. And we are a privileged group because we had a wake-up call without losing a match, even a point.
Crespo shot! Oh no! For Wigan, but wonderful for Chelsea.
When I went to hug Paul Jewell after the game, after the goal, by saying I feel sorry, you don't deserve to lose the game. If I do this in Portugal to a Portuguese manager, elbow.
It is a big game, and if you want to win a championship, you always know that this kind of games count double. Because at the end of the season, when you win a championship, you know, oh, we didn't lose the big games. You know, that's you puts in the brain of the players and in your own brain that you can win the championship, because in the big games, you're coming out with a positive result.
If in the end of the game we are very, very happy because of a big result, I have to put them in their place and to prove them that 2 matches is nothing and everything can change. If the result is not the result we want and everybody is very sad, I will be the first to laugh and to say carry on, because last season we were 5 points behind them. 5 points behind them, and we finished with, I don't know, 8 or 10 or 11 more.
Fighting talk, but it's right, isn't it? Factual. Do you get the impression that he's made an example of Ricardo Carvalho this week?
Yeah, a little bit. I was a bit surprised. I think out of all the players in the group, for Ricardo Carvalho, he's worked from Porto, he's been with him, he signed for him at Chelsea. I think he was the one player that I felt that perhaps wouldn't rock the boat. I mean, he played 39 games last year, which is a lot of games. You know, Jose Mourinho realises if they have a good season, these guys could play up to 70 games this year, so you need a squad. So I do believe he's made a point to say, listen, anyone steps out of line, this is what's going to happen.
But Arjen Robben has had not quite the same things to say, but has skirted near it this week, hasn't he?
Yeah, but it just in defence of Arjen Robben, it might be slightly different. I think he's even might have answered the question. He said, do you think it will affect your confidence if you're getting taken off, if you're not playing? And the obvious answer is, yeah, it can do. So, I mean, in that respect, I don't think he's gone out looking to make a quote. Whereas I think Ricardo Carvalho maybe did look to make to voice an opinion and to say that, listen, I'm not happy, I haven't started the first game of the season. Whereas Robben he might have just answered the question like that.
Do you think he can genuinely keep them all happy? Bearing in mind there's Essien to come yet as well.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be very, very tough. He has two players in every position. You know pretty much that Frank Lampard and John Terry are going to play every game. So there's going to be William Gallas might not be happy one day if Carvalho plays. You've got Sean Wright-Phillips who's going to be wanting to push for a place in the World Cup. And he knows if he doesn't play week in, week out, he won't probably get in the World Cup squad. And it's the same with Joe Cole. So you are going to get players unhappy, but I think that's where a good manager, and Jose Mourinho is a top manager, he'll work it out, he'll give players the games, because the Champions League coming up, the games come thick and fast in a few weeks, and that's where he's going to earn his money.
We wait to see. Kleb makes his debut this afternoon. Now, what do you think Arsenal have got in him? We saw him briefly in Cardiff, didn't we?
Yeah,
but not enough.
Yeah, first impressions, he brings an injection of pace and enthusiasm into what we could have said was, possibly a tiring Arsenal midfield, if you like, going forward. And
I think he gave them an injection last week against Newcastle.
Yeah, he came on as well, and he brought something different where he took players on. He wanted to do things around the box. He wasn't playing a nice, safe game. He decided to try and get things done, and it was really refreshing. And I think everybody's quite happy with him so far. I think running the team now will know a lot more, and it's a big game for him to come in. But he certainly did. He got into the pace of the game straight away. Same up with down in Cardiff, and for me, he's got bundles of energy, and he's got an opportunity now, I think, to give that something extra to Arsenal over a long period of time now. He's always looking to go forward as quickly as possible.
Do you think in time he might be the replacement for Perez? Do you think that's why he maybe brought him as 24?
It looked at that because Perez was having his contract difficulties as he was signed, and also I think the fact Dennis isn't going to be around forever, and if Perez makes that adjustment, and he's tailor-made to slot in there, and there's no way you'll find out unless you throw him in there and play. And I think from what we saw at Champions League last year as well, you know, with Germany, he can play. The kid has got a chance.
Well, the history book suggests that Arsenal have nothing at all to fear here today. They haven't been beaten by Chelsea in 19 matches, a spell stretching back 10 years. This is Chelsea's last. We found it in the vault.
Pick up round the back. Furlong, yes! Chelsea are in front. Oh, Poyet's put it in. Feels for handball by Vieira, nothing given. Right header, Bergkamp's in the clear, and Arsenal have equalised. Right. Gilbury got to it, although he didn't really deal with it. It's left with a chance for Bergkamp and a goal for Bergkamp. An Arsenal lead at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea on the crest of a wave. Can they answer back? And Marquez looking to show that straight away. Salah! There's your answer. Vieira. Inside the last couple of minutes. Sit in the corner, sweet as you please. Wise. Petrescu unmarked. Dixon. Kanu didn't want it there. Oh! Can you believe it? He's flattened Chelsea.
And nobody here that day will ever forget Kanu's hat-trick. And it's generally the way it's been, as you can see, in the Premiership when these two have met. Just the 3 wins for Chelsea, home and away, in the 26 matches that have been played. Arsenal do well here, and there's the evidence of that. So here we go. It's the champions against Arsenal. Commentators Andy Gray and Alan Parry.
Well, Arsene Wenger has called it a massive game that will influence the outcome of the championship. Jose Mourinho says it's just another 3 points. Their approach as different as the men themselves. But Andy, no matter which of the two you agree with, it is unusual, isn't it, to have such a major fixture so early in the season?
Well, I think there's forcing against it. I've been listening this week. Some people are saying it's a shame that it's this early in the season. I disagree. I think it's great to give the fans who have waited for 3 months for the Premier League to start again, Al. I think it's great to give them a real big game or two in the first month of the season. It really whets the appetite for the rest of it. I couldn't get enough of this. Manchester United came here, first game last season, and Alex Ferguson said and is quoted as saying it really set the stall for the rest of the season for them. So that's how big it is.
A lot of conjecture about the team lineups for today. Here are the facts. Jose Mourinho has kept faith with Arjen Robben despite rumours that the young Dutchman would be dropped. And the only change is a surprising one. Hernan Crespo gets the nod ahead of Didier Drogba, who scored twice against Arsenal in the Community Shield. Joe Cole played for England in midweek, but he doesn't even make the subs bench, nor does Ricardo Carvalho. Less of a surprise, of course, in view of his well-publicised row with the manager. But new signing Michael Essien is on the bench. One change from the Arsenal team that got off to a winning start against Newcastle last week. Dennis Bergkamp drops down to the subs bench to be replaced by Arsenal's only major summer signing, Alexander Hleb. He'll play on the left with Robert Pires given a different role just behind Thierry Henry. An interesting move by Arsene Wenger.
Well, I don't expect to see too many surprises as far as formation's concerned. That's pretty much tried and trusted. It's what he likes. Lads were talking about Crespo picked instead of Drogba. I think they've picked a better player, if I'm being absolutely honest, of the two. But there's no doubt Drogba's performance in the Community Shield must have given him food for thought. He'll be looking for a bit more from midfield, from Frank Lampard getting forward in there. And I think Ida Johnson to supplement the front, which I don't think happened often enough against Wigan last week. But this team has got a little bit to prove, even this early, to the manager after last weekend. Well, for Arsene Wenger, I wondered about Dennis Bergkamp. I wondered whether in big games now and at the age he's at, can he influence the game often enough? It seems that Arsene Wenger has decided no. We've got Perez playing in this role here. Yes, he will play in and around there, and we know what Henry will do, go and drift up there. And for Terry and Gallas, at times, they'll be stood there and they'll be wondering who do I mark. But that's the problem that they've got to cope with.
The first game of the new season here at Stamford Bridge, home of the champions. And how good does that sound if you're a Chelsea fan? But as any title winners will tell you, now comes the hard part for Mourinho's men. Retaining the championship when you become the team that everyone wants to beat tests the character and ability of even the very best. Andy, what kind of pressure is that going to be on Chelsea?
Well, there's huge pressure. I remember winning the title in the 80s when Everton had gone about the same length of time, 20-odd years, and hadn't won the title. Managed to win it in 85. And I know after I'd left then, but you know, I know from people like Peter Reid and Graham Sharp that they really found that everybody wanted to beat the champions. And that's probably the biggest thing, that every single team now will want to beat Chelsea. And there are no surprises now. I don't think, and I'm being honest here, I don't think the rest of the league maybe gave Chelsea the respect that they thought they were going to deserve by the end of the season, during the season.
Well, it's an historic season for both clubs. Chelsea's centenary year, Arsenal's final campaign at Highbury. But the only entry that either of them wants to see in the record books is Premiership champions 2006. Only the second week of the new season, but no question that this is a game of huge significance. As Andy has already mentioned, Sir Alex Ferguson admits that Manchester United never really recovered from losing here this time a year ago, and Arsenal will, of course, be afraid of falling into the same trap.
It's a bit like Arsenal losing their unbeaten record at Old Trafford, Alan. You look at the 5 games after that, and I think they took about 4 points from them, 6 points from them, something like that. Took 6 from 15 after that. Well, that shows you it took them a time to recover from losing a really big game. I don't care what Jose Mourinho says. This is a game you don't want to lose, trust me.
And you can tell that by the tense expressions on the faces of those players in the tunnel. Well, some people at Stamford Bridge think it's a one-horse race, but the thoroughbreds from Highbury, they've got other ideas. The finishing post is still a long way in the distance, but this opening furlong is always crucial. A full house in West London, millions watching all around the world. It really doesn't get much better than this. It's the champions against the runners-up. Chelsea versus Arsenal. The kick-off now, just moments away.
Game on. Great. Champions against Arsenal. Commentators Andy Gray and Alan Parry.
Thanks, Richard. Graham Poll is the man in charge of what's always a feisty fixture with plenty of red and yellow cards in recent years. And there's been so much sniping between the two clubs off the field that I think you can guarantee fireworks again today. It's been warm and sunny with blue skies over West London, so even the weather's turned on the style for this clash between the champions of the last 2 seasons. Chelsea, in their all-blue strip, get us underway. When they won the title, they were beaten only once in the whole campaign. When Arsenal were champions, of course, they didn't lose at all. That is the incredibly high standard that these two teams have set.
Yeah, I guess Chelsea will always trot out, though. We got more points than you, didn't we? Even though they lost that game. It's extraordinary. Extraordinary performance in his first season here in this league.
He is so far unbeaten in his previous 3 matches against Arsenal, but he knows that they'll have to play a whole lot better than they did against Wigan. In fact, John Terry said if they played in that manner, or if they do today against Arsenal, they'll lose by 3 or 4 goals. And here is the captain, who was a 14-year-old ball boy the last time Chelsea beat Arsenal in a league game. That was 10 years ago. Makelele finding Lampard, and a glorious ball for Duff. Chance of an early goal here. Lehmann did brilliantly. Now he's got to scramble back. Crespo. Good defending by Senderos. Paulo Ferreira's cross. Claim for handball. And a corner.
Well, that's a little area that at times they expose in the Community Shield behind Ashley Cole. And they've done it within the first 90 seconds. Beautifully timed run, but he should have done better. I think Lehman's done a great job there. You have to accept that. But Damien Duff twice should have done better.
Oh, and off the line, there was a claim for another handball.
No, off the chest, Freddie Ljungberg.
What an opening. Makaleli. Terry. Chelsea have come out of the blocks flying here. Robin. Oh, he ran into a cul-de-sac.
Well, if ever you wanted evidence of a flea in the ear last week, it must be the start of Chelsea. They really have flown out the traps.
Cole inevitably booed. He would have expected that. Thierry Henry, who has a wonderful scoring record against Chelsea. Now Ljungberg, what an important interception that was by him moments earlier. Pires. On it goes to Freddie Ljungberg. A very measured shot and only just wide from Arsenal's captain.
Oh, 2.5 minutes. Surely we can't get more of this in the next 78. Fabulous start to the game. This is so typically Arsenal, manoeuvring the ball along the ground. Little pass and move, pass and move. Never quite set it out to come back, but this is the one. Decent climb there, and if ever you want evidence of the value of putting 2 on the line, there it is. Because Arsenal are 1 down if they don't.
An unexpected saviour, Freddie Ljungberg. Huge kick by Lehmann. It's gone all the way through to his opposite number. Chelsea had no fewer than 22 players away on international duty during the week, and all of them came back unscathed in terms of injuries, so Mourinho was quite literally spoilt for choice today.
I just wonder a penny for Joe Cole's thoughts this particular afternoon.
Yeah.
Played for England on midweek, can't even get on the subs bench here today.
In pretty good company, mind you, when you look at who hasn't made the possible replacements. Layoff. There's Cole. Pires. A bit too high for the Belarus international. And Terry knew that Ljungberg was closing him down. Lampard, Makaleli. Too far for Gudjonsson, but Duff behind him. Paulo Ferreira. And here's Gallas.
There's a zip about the game already. Nothing negative in it. Well, that's the criticism that was levelled against Chelsea after the Community Shield. That type of ball, it was, I have to say, that was an aimless one from Paulo Ferreira there.
Lauren. Gets it back from Gilberto Silva. Here's Senderos. Kleb leaving the left touchline and leaving space out there for Cole. Kleb again. Or just behind Thierry Henry, unlucky. Versatile player, Kleb. Arsene Wenger convinced he's going to be a very important addition. Unfortunately, we've got an addition that we could have done without, an idiot who's decided to invade the pitch. We won't give him the publicity he obviously seeks. But we will be keeping a close eye on Hernan Crespo. He's the subject of our first player came in the match.
Well, there's always some fool.
Mourinho sees the funny side of things. He certainly didn't see the funny side of Ricardo Carvalho's comments that have been well publicised. And he's returned to the theme in his match day programme notes today. I wouldn't want to be Ricardo Carvalho at this moment. And I wouldn't want to be the idiot who decided to invade the pitch, who is about to be, I hope, harshly treated by the stewards. They've got him.
It is a shame that this game had got off to a really rip-roaring start. The last thing we wanted was an idiot like that, bringing it to a stop for any length of time.
He is, for the curious, unclothed, which is why we're not showing him. Well, he's had his 5 seconds of fame, and 2 men with strong West Ham connections can enjoy the rather unwanted break from the action. side. Order has been restored. John Terry. Ohano. And Robin just took his eyes off the ball. Scored 2 goals for his country Holland against Germany in midweek and played very well, I gather.
There's 2 really good battles out there. I know there's lots, but 2 in particular in the wide areas of the pitch. When you get Duff and Robin against Lauren and Cole, whichever way it pans out.
Great run here by Lampard. Now, was he pushed over? The referee says no again. Lindberg. Ladies' interception. Terry with Jonsson. Jason Wenger quite livid about the pitch here at Stamford Bridge. He felt that they've left the grass too long. It certainly is long, unusually so.
Jamie Redknapp was down on it earlier today, and he came back up and he said that it was a lot longer than he thought it would be. But it certainly doesn't seem to be affecting the path of the ball across it, that's for sure.
Toure with a simple interception. Arsenal 12 points behind Chelsea, of course, last season, and then Chelsea beat them in the Community Shield as Czech got his geography all wrong there. He was relieved to hear the whistle go. A little nudge in the back by Henry.
That is a generous one, because that would have given Graham Poll a huge problem. Because as he takes this, we'll see how much of a push there is on the goalkeeper. I have to say, there's not a lot, but his momentum carried him outside the box with the ball in his hands.
There's Gallas. Paulo Ferreira. And after that explosive opening, the pace has slowed a little. Makelele.
What they're doing with Makelele, Perez is getting himself around there, and what that does, it leaves Gilberto and Fabregas to take care of Johnson and Lampard, who are obviously the 2 who are going to go forward more than anyone.
Loudon certainly took care of Robin there, and he's getting a ticking off from Graham Poll. Chelsea free kick.
Well, Lauren and Cole know the threat, there's no doubt about that.
Quickly taken by Del Horno, who's trying to release Crespo.
Flag's gone up for offside, but Graham Poll didn't see it. Loud play to go on.
Lampard looking for Robin. He's done well here. Toure did even better. And good Jonsson almost got a foot in then. Henry away by Terry. We all know, of course, about Arsenal's fabulous unbeaten run, but it's now 10 months and 30 matches since Chelsea lost a game in the Barclays Premiership. Their 1-0 defeat at Manchester City last October.
So if they go the first half of the season unbeaten, they'll equal Arsenal's record there.
And what an achievement that would be on top of everything else they got last season when they broke all kinds of records. There's Gallas. Paulo Ferreira. All the options closed off. You've got to be patient. And he was. Crespo dropping deep to provide an option. Now onto Damien Duff. Good Jonsson. Good tackle.
Yeah, the pass just tempted Gilberto. So it was a little short.
Makelele. Not like him to give the ball away so sloppily. Loudon. And a chance for Perez to use his pace against Del Horno, but the Spanish international's no slouch. Lampard. Easy interception for Cole. Clem. Perez available, here he is. And Cole still out on the left. Fabregas. Now it's Arsenal's turn to keep possession impressively. Loudon. Clem. Excellent football. Fabregas. Henry's found a bit of space. Goal. Henry trying to tempt Damien Duff into a challenge. He's not having any of that. And Chelsea waited, bided their time and get the ball back.
Well, they're patient. That's the difference between the two, a major difference. You'll never see Arsenal knock it too long or cross too many. Certainly not from the left, because there's no one in the box to cross it to for a start.
Kleb, Henry, unmarked on the left. And he looks for Ljungberg, far post, Freddie Ljungberg!
No, angle was against him. But full marks to Gallas. You talk about knowing your players. The two Frenchmen, internationals together, you think they would do anyway. And what Gallas does ever so well here is he doesn't allow Henry onto his right foot. You watch this. He's saying to him, go on, you can go anywhere, but you're not coming in onto your right foot. The angle's a tough one, even on target. It's going to be something special to beat Czech from there. And that's pretty good defending at the end from Gallas.
Ljungberg will be fresher than most out there. He actually withdrew from Sweden's squad for their international in midweek. Had a slight calf problem. As Terry finds a brilliant ball out to Duff. With Janssen in space, Crespo also arriving. Senderos concedes the corner.
Lovely ball. Not a lot you can do about that, as Ashley Cole, because he has to be tucked in and the ball's on the other side of the pitch like it was with John Terry.
Chelsea's first corner almost led to a goal. They've got to keep an eye on Terry again as he comes in.
Well, they're good at set plays, Chelsea. And Arsenal at times look less than secure. That's the problem. That's the worry. But this is one of those that if it sticks with John Terry, by that I mean it hits him and just sticks in front of him, they can smash it into the roof of the net. It just gets away from him.
He did score against Arsenal in the 2-2 draw at Highbury last season. Freddie Ljungberg is limping away at the other end of the field, and that looks pretty ominous as Gary Lewin makes communication with the bench. I mentioned a moment ago that it was a calf problem that forced Ljungberg to withdraw from Sweden's international, and I just wonder if it's come back again. Henry's header on, Paulo Ferreira.
Well, there are plenty of options if Ljungberg can't continue, but it would be an interesting choice to see which one he went with. Flamini, Bergkamp or Van Persie.
Crespo. Del Horno. There's Gallas. Ljungberg rejoins the action, but doesn't look too comfortable at the moment. Let's see how he is now. Pires. Henry ahead of him. Lauren supporting down the right. Ljungberg making his way forward. A tempting cross as well, looking for Fabregas, who's kept it in play. Cole. Ljungberg on the far post again. And that's an Arsenal throw.
A couple of collector's items. Two crosses back to back. They do tend to cross more from Lauren's side of the pitch in Ljungberg's, because it does mean that inevitably Henry will be in and around the box, but not so much so from the left, and Henry's usually involved. But the pass has been excellent, Arsenal, early on in this game, the opening 15 minutes. It's really been slick and the movement's been good. Haven't quite found that cutting edge yet, or that little opening. But they're patient. You just watch the football here. They'll be extremely patient. They won't force the play unless they have to.
Not surprisingly, in view of the quality of the players on view, it's more like a Champions League match this than a Blood and Thunder Premiership fixture in many ways.
There's a lot of healthy respect out there as well. First 15 minutes, touch surprising, but they had a lot of the ball early on, that opening 5 or 6 minutes, Chelsea, and they might have taken the lead.
Senderos. Ashley Cole very wide on the left, enabling Kleb to move infield. Gilberto. Perez helps it on to Ljungberg, who seems to have recovered from that problem now. The Brazilian joins in again and finds Fabregas. Well, that was a loose ball, and Crespo could profit. Has he got the pace to get round Toure? There's the answer.
Nearly. So one thing Colo Toure is good at, picking up those knees and getting after people. Great pace there.
Henry. Not like him to give it away so carelessly as Good Johnson hits a superb ball. Crespo. Arsenal getting men back quickly though.
Well, they've got 5 ahead to play here, Chelsea.
Kleb. Ljungberg. Fabregas just to his right. And space over on the right-hand side. Got caught in 2 minds, I think.
Yeah. Henry was just on the inside, centrally. Went for the really difficult ball.
Arsenal unbeaten in their last 19 Premiership matches against Chelsea, winning 10 of them. As I mentioned before, their last defeat in the league against their rivals was 10 years ago. Mark Hughes scored the winning goal here. There have been successes, of course, in other competitions for Chelsea since. Del Horno for them. 10 forward by Lampard. And away by Lauren. And indeed it came off the Chelsea man, so it's Arsenal's throw.
Might have been better not tackling there. Del Horno. He wasn't really going anywhere apart from knocking it out for a throw. Lauren.
Horno gets up to win it again. Tavares leaves it to Lampard. Every player out there treating that ball with great care and affection. No one giving it away carelessly.
Well, they're all getting it. They're all looking up. There's plenty of movement ahead of them. There's not an awful lot of space.
Gallas. Well, once again, it was a good run down the centre by Duff, but the ball just failing to pick him out. Makelele. Here's Duff. Switched over to the left again. They often interchange, Duff and Robin, of course. And they've got White Phillips amongst the substitutes, should they need to make a change in those wide positions.
Well, you think he'd be confident, Robin, after his midweek performance for his country. I think they'd want to try and get the ball early and as often as possible.
It's a great ball from Fabregas, and what a tackle.
Big tackle, because he's quick, Ljungberg, and if he'd have nicked that past Del Horno, he would have taken a bit of catching.
Makelele. There's Good Johnson. Space on the right. Paulo Ferreira. Robin screaming for an early ball. Paulo Ferreira had other ideas. Duff coming in at the far post.
Well, it's not the best defensive header you're going to see from a fullback. Lauren's there. Just kind of prodded it down into the area. Fortunately for him, not a blue shirt to be seen.
It's been a chess match, really, this opening 20 minutes. Apart from that opening couple of minutes. Gallas.
That'll be a foul against Crespo. Just trying to ease Senderos out the way. I just think at times, I know they're probably worried about who they're facing, Chelsea, but both full-backs, they are reluctant to go forward early on in the match. I noticed it last week, even at Wigan. They go so far. They never seem to go past Duff and Robin too often or look to get a 2v1 situation, certainly early on in the game, and that's been pretty much what it's been like for Chelsea in the opening, what have we had, quarter of this game just about.
Yes, no one has taken any risks as yet.
Well, I think they're worried, obviously. The pace of Henry and Perez would obviously make you a tad cautious early on in the game. You know, it's just like here. You know, I think that when you look at the full-back there, he could easily push 20 yards further on and then say to Kleb, the right back there, well, do you want to come with me or not? If not, I might just get in behind you. So those questions aren't being asked. But it's early, and this is a big game.
Here's Ljungberg for Arsenal. Henry's already on the run. Good ball, Gallas finding Lampard, and that's opened things up. Crespo. With Johnson short, unmarked. Lampard's carried on his run in typical fashion.
Well, we're back. Plenty behind the ball now.
Alvaro Ferreira leaves it to Robin this time. The ball in. So he had to be on his toes, as did Senderos.
Just needed a little shout from his goalkeeper. Might have helped him. I don't know whether he got it. I think he probably did, because Senderos just held his hand out to apologise. So I feel sure Lehmann gave him the shout. Might have been a little late though.
Risky ball there, and Fabregas seemed slow to respond. Crowded. Gilberto. Oh, wonderful change of direction.
Great feet.
I wonder if there's still a problem with Freddie Ljungberg as Van Persie keeps himself ready.
There is. I'm just looking down at halfway line, and he's not moving smoothly at all.
Yeah, gets it back to Cole. Perez is in there, but the ball spins away from danger. But the danger now could be at the other end. Robin. Well, he checked back inside, and that proved to be a mistake, although he has got the free kick and an injury to boot. Literally.
Ljungberg's going to be substituted. I feel sure of that. He's gone down again. Robin was fouled, but I was just looking at Ashley Cole on his way back. I had a little word with the referee. He obviously felt that as he broke into the penalty area here, that there might have been a little shout for an infringement. I tell you what, Makalele's, is it Makalele or Gallas? Look at that. That big right leg comes out, and if that catches Cole, which it looks like it does. Look at that. You stretch like that, Al. I mean, he makes contact. That's a penalty, and that's why Cole's got up like he has. And that's why he's still at him.
At first, I thought he just stumbled.
No. I mean, I think you saw the leg come out, and I wasn't sure whether contact was made. That was my only doubt. We're miles away from it. I'm not so sure what kind of view the referee had of that.
No stranger to controversy in this particular fixture, of course. No stranger to controversy, full stop. Like the players, he needs a quick breather and a quick drink.
That's bad news. Hopefully it's only short term for Freddie Ljungberg.
Key player that Arsenal will not want to see out of action for long, but clearly playing no further part in this game. 20 minutes to half-time. Freddie Ljungberg goes off to be replaced by Robin Van Persie, who of course came off the bench to score a late goal last week against Newcastle United. Played the last 20 minutes. He's got rather longer now to make an impression.
Well, it's just where he plays. I mean, whether they drop Perez back onto the right-hand side, into an area where he feels natural, and just let Van Persie play off Henry. We'll certainly find out now there. Final instruction has been given. That's where you're going to play, son. Go and do something.
First thing he's got to do is defend this Chelsea free kick, which they've already taken.
Well, Perez is going to play right, that's for sure. Van Persie's just told him. So The experiment of Perez and Henry in tandem, short-lived.
Lampard finds Gudjonsson, Senderos steps in to win it back. It didn't take long for Van Persie to get involved. Nor Perez in his new role, but one, of course, he's played so many times before.
And I think at some time in the game, depending how Kleb does, they might just switch Perez and Kleb, because there's certainly no doubt that Perez, Cole and Henry know all about each other. They know how to play that ball in that area of the pitch between them. One thing that's impressed me about Alexander Kleb was he's taking his throws. He looks to me like he's played for Arsenal for years. He's slotted right into the way they play. He's comfortable, he's happy with the ball, he shifts and moves and passes it well. He doesn't look a new player, and that's about the biggest compliment you can play him. Sometimes it takes a while to get used to a new team.
Particularly, they always say, in the Premiership. Now Crespo's away.
Just off.
Certainly took him a long time to adjust to the pace of life in England.
I think he's just fractionally ahead. That was my first view of it. It's a close one, but the linesman's in a perfect position to give that. I think he's probably right.
A huge applause you can hear in the background. Michael Essien has been sent out to warm up, the new signing.
Reading his article today, if Chelsea don't get the breakthrough, and the man who hasn't got a fault, according to himself, might well be on sooner rather than later.
Signed for a club record fee, and by the way, that means that since Roman Abramovich's helicopter landed here at Stamford Bridge, he's now spent on average £10 million a month on new players. Incredible. Horno's gone down clutching his face there, and certainly Chelsea have got a free kick.
Well, he might have got caught, but I don't think there's anything sinister. I think Van Persie just tries to get his body in front of Del Horno in the ball, and he might catch him. I'm not even sure there. Look, he's getting his body in, and his hand comes up.
Now Duff takes a tumble. Gudjonsson is about to play on, but referee Graham Poll has brought them back, and we can get a quick word from Jeff Shreves on the Freddie Ljungberg injury.
Alan, it would appear not to be recurrence of that calf injury that caused him a problem with his country. He actually went off the pitch and crashed into the advertising hoardings in this game. That's why he's off.
Thanks, Jeff. Lampard's free kick. Paulo Ferreira's given it away to Gilberto. And the Brazilian loses out, and no free kick either. Crespo's unmarked, they didn't see him. But for that, you have to credit John Fabregas.
You have to credit John Terry. He didn't give Gilberto an ounce of space. He crowded him, he hounded him, forced the ball off him. Typical of him.
Alexander Kleb will be the subject of our player cam for the next 15 minutes to half-time. And he's got the ball. He's got Henry with him. And finds him. How about that for calm play by Lampard on the edge of his own box. And the ball forward for Crespo.
Well, Arsenal will know, I think, what to expect in that respect. That when it comes back and there's a bit of space, that Chelsea might look to go forward earlier. They'll know they conceded 2 from in the Community Shield from balls played from pretty much Chelsea's own half, long and forward.
John Terry.
It's a super ball again.
Sweeping ball again, out to the right. Robin with instant control, as you'd expect. It was always being held. Free kick.
It's just in that area I'm talking about, the full-backs. You know, Ferreira, he just backs him up, and he was just backing him up again. Not really offering anything. But maybe that's the instruction. You know, maybe when you've got Duff and Robin, you say to your full-backs, don't go past them, just back them up, and if they need you, they'll use you. You'll be the safety. That might be the case.
John Terry making a late run into the penalty area, never quite reached in. Lehmann at full stretch to prevent it going out.
That's a great throw,
wasn't it? Number on, that's unusual, but very effective. Into Robin van Persie. Makelele made sure he got no further, but the young Dutchman gets it again. Gilberto. Fabregas. Good ball for Cole. Chelsea fans don't know who to boo next. Thierry Henry. And again, Lampard just got a foot in with Janssen. Strong in the challenge as well.
He's unlucky because it's Henry was chasing him.
Perez. And Gilberto. Yeah, got the word from Henry behind him. There's Van Persie. Not a bad cross. Del Horno knew he had to make his mind up, and he made the right decision. Arsenal's two centre-backs are making their way forward. Good clutch of players near the penalty spot for the Perez corner. Oh, well, it reared up and hit Lampard on the hand and has gone out for another corner.
Well, you're not going to get a penalty for that. More chance of getting one for the Cole situation than that. Nothing intentional there. Nothing they can do about it. In fact, it might have saved him testing the goalkeeper because it looked like it was heading towards goal off Frank's foot. That's another corner, I think.
Yeah. Surely making life difficult for the Chelsea defenders. I think it came off either with Janssen.
Well, maybe they don't agree. He's wanting to push, I think, Heidegger Johnson, but yeah, you can see quite clearly it is Heidegger, but he might have had a case of a little nudge in the back, though.
Henry delivers, whipped in dangerously as well. Splendid header away by Del Horno, very strong in the air, the new left back, and now Terry knew exactly where Senderos was.
Yeah, I think Senderos was looking at John Terry rather than the flight of the ball there. Because this always looks like from the moment it leaves Henry's foot as if it's going to be big. And I just think he should have been pulling around the back of Terry and not getting involved with him. Might have had a bit more joy.
Chelsea get a free kick. Poor ball this time by the Spaniard Del Horno. And Percy wasn't going to be shaken off easily, but Terry is as strong and commanding as they come. And Arsene Wenger having a word with fourth official Rob Stiles, clearly unhappy about a number of things in the last couple of minutes. Lampard. Raymond has got to keep going here. He can relax now because Robin gave up on it. The Carling Cup competition swings back into action this week. And we've got a match for you tomorrow night. Southend, newly promoted. Southampton, newly relegated. Sky Sports 1, 7:30. Harry, of course, will be the man in charge of Southampton for that one. Henry. Cole. And he's kept going. That's Cole's decision is to whip the cross in and out.
It's unusual.
Chelsea fans taunting their opposite numbers with the chant of champions. The visiting supporters have been moved here at Stamford Bridge this season, by the way. If your team has yet to play here, and they will have because this is the opening home game, they're now behind the goal, but Chelsea are attacking in this first half as Duff concedes the free kick. Minutes to half-time. Still goalless in the battle of the champions of English football from the last two campaigns.
Yeah, it settled down after that opening five. That was the most exciting part of the game. Isn't a doubt about that.
decided to take a careful touch, and it was a good one. Loudon.
You even look at the goalkeeper there. There was no thought about him just clubbing it up the pitch, was there? Just a lovely little chip to the fullback.
Yes, both managers might have said very different things in the build-up to this game about the importance of the points at stake, but there's no doubt that neither of them want to lose, and that's been evident in this opening half. Makaleli. Dallas onto Paulo Ferreira. And Terry suddenly changed his mind, but wriggled himself out of danger. Paulo Ferreira. Makaleli getting further forward than normal, but the ball's been given away, and he'll have to track back. Good Johnson, doesn't have to bother. Crespo's offside again.
Again, there wasn't a lot in it. He's pointing at Colo Torre, but I thought it was just off. He's just going to spin away in there. Yeah, it's just off. Got a yard or so in it. Good decision. That's the right decision.
Fabregas. First time ball on to Thierry Henry, who took it brilliantly. Now Kleb. Van Persie. Just behind Perez. Good Johnson profits. And he's got Crespo to his left. His second touch just took the ball too far away.
Well, they're a 3v2 situation. Good Johnson, Crespo and Robin against the two centre-backs. Had he taken a better touch?
Everything about the match so far has been careful, precise and measured. Gallas with the clearance. Two Arsenal men went for the same ball. Makaleli wins it back. He's there again for Chelsea. Lampard. But Johnson let it run. Del Horno. Johnson's made some room. What can he do with it this time? He finds Damien Duck. But Johnson with the flick. Toure read the danger. But Arsenal can't clear their lines yet. Makaleli. Del Horno. Toure there first again.
Well, this is the best piece of pressure Chelsea have had in the whole match.
Crespo's peeled away to the far post, but Paulo Ferreira's cross blocked. Now Arsenal regain possession with Van Persie. Kleb. Henry for company. Roberto. Perez unmarked at the moment, out on the right. Horner's raced across to cover him now. Roberto. Kleb.
Wrong way for me. Ashley Cole was in a brilliant position there if he'd just kept it going, Kleb.
There is Cole. With Henry still out on the left. Terrific defending. Gallas got a little bit lucky.
I don't know how fit SEN is. I'm not sure how many games he's actually had. All I kept reading about him was he wasn't playing here and he wasn't playing there. So I'm not sure what his match fitness is like. But I do think if it stays like this, then there's going to be some time, maybe the last half hour or so, maybe half time, when we'll see him.
He did the full pre-season apparently with Lyon, and he says he's so fit that sometimes, even after a match, he feels he could still go on running. But he would say that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I only ever felt like that before the match.
And sometimes not even that.
You saw.
Loudon. Here's Perez, Gilberto, Fabregas. Good movement. from Henry, but the ball fails to pick him out again. Makelele. And Terry loves that one, doesn't he? Cole anticipating this time. Gallas. Terry picks out Del Horno. Good ball on for Lampard. Here's Duff. Lampard continues his run. Crespo on the far post. Robben's there too. Oh, well played, Lehmann. Crespo. Well, at the beginning and end of this half, Jens Lehmann in the Arsenal goal has made crucial interceptions.
Just a bit. That was a wonderful ball in from Frank Lampard. Almost undefendable.
Again, that ball one side of the pitch to the other by John Terry. Here's Robben again. That's better. Good Jonsson. Paulo Ferreira, plenty awaiting the cross.
That's better from Ferreira. That's as high up the pitch as we've seen him today. But he gave them another option with Robben going inside. He just didn't get the cross away quick enough.
And Robben loses possession. Ooh, a sloppy layoff though. Makelele. Here's Damien Duff.
Well, I think it's the way he travels across his goal here, because when they work this ball down, he's at the near post, and then he's got to get himself a cross goal, and he keeps himself big. Wonderful save. It's not the easiest, because it's bounced just before he gets there, Robben. He just studs it rather than hits it. He stood big. It might have hit him in the face, but he won't care.
Islam. Arsenal got 4 men. 5, in fact, now near the Arsenal, the Chelsea penalty area in this attack. Loudon gets it back from Pires. And it looks negative, but importantly, they've kept possession. Until Raymond's kick. Paulo Ferreira being encouraged by the crowd anyway to get forward again. Makelele. There's Lampard. Clever little ball by him for Robben. Crespo in the middle. Good Jonsson, edge of the box, corner.
Well, the beginning and the end of each of the half has been certainly when most action has taken place. I wouldn't say it's been sterile, but they've kind of cancelled each other out. Defences have been on top.
Terry, an obvious threat. He scored 4 goals against Arsenal over the years. They've all been headers. He comes thundering in again, but it never reaches him this time. It has reached Duff, though. It was a very flat ball in. It could have brought success. It has brought a throw. Three minutes being played at the end of the first half. Still goalless at Stamford Bridge. Ida Gudjonsson for Chelsea. John Terry. Here's Del Horno. Arsenal voices making themselves heard at the far end of the stadium as John Terry produces another raking ball out to that right-hand side. Paulo Ferreira.
Again, much better position. I'll only give Ashley Cole a problem. Robben turned in field and Ferrara went beyond him. Just didn't do enough when the ball came to him. Maybe something we'll see a bit more of from Jose Mourinho's fullbacks in the second half.
Really doing well to keep that on the pitch. Steps back header, Cole. He's given it away to Robin. Free on the right is Gudjonsson. Lampard spotted him. Terry. There we go again. Been passing it like Glenn Hoddle in this first half. Lampard. Good interception by Fabregas. Gilberto.
Oh, that's unlucky, because when Gilberto looked up, Thierry Henry, because he's only 5-6 yards inside Chelsea's half, he went and spun away. And then as soon as he put your head down, he stopped. So he was a little unlucky, Gilberto.
Into the final 60 seconds as Crespo loses possession. Toure. Claire, who's looked inventive and lively whenever he's been on the ball. Gudjonsson. Here's Robin. Oh, what a ball. Just too much pace on it. Lehmann had to intercept, though. And Percy's already running forward, so is Henry. And Gilberto guides it out to Chleb. Clearly got there first. Pires.
It was worth a hit, and he's certainly good enough.
Cautious, I think, is the best word to describe the first 45 minutes here at Stamford Bridge. Certainly Jens Lehmann was busy at either end of the half. A very important save from Damien Duff, wasn't it, early on, and then from Robin right at the end. Ashley Cole thought he might have been nudged over for a penalty. Referee Graham Poll thought nothing of the appeal. And the teams go off at Stamford Bridge without a goal to show. It's Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0.
That's of the highest class. Fascinating, isn't it? Jamie Redknapp and Niall Quinn are here. Their thoughts when we come back. No goals yet, but plenty to talk about. It was a blistering start from Chelsea. But Arsenal will be wondering whether they should have had a penalty. We'll get the thoughts of Niall and Jamie Redknapp when we come back. We've got live football tomorrow night from the Carling Cup. It's the first round tie between Southend and Southampton. It's a long time since the Saints played at the first round of this competition. 7:30 start, Sky Sports 1. Jamie Redknapp and Niall Quinn are with us here this afternoon. It really has been nip and tuck, hasn't it?
Yeah,
fascinating stuff.
It has been fascinating. I think the first sort of 5-10 minutes, Chelsea would come flying out of the blocks. They started off really, really well. Then Arsenal had a spell of possession when it looked like they might be able to open up, had a couple of good chances. But then towards the end, Chelsea started to get the momentum again, and they had a couple of good chances. But I've really enjoyed it. It's been some really good football played. It's our end, and we probably had a better view than most. I think the view here was penalty. Has yours changed at all?
Not really. It's probably gotten stronger because I saw it on the replay, and I felt once Makelele stuck his leg out and didn't win anything, he was asking for trouble. You can see him there. He's lunged as a player is running into the box at pace. He's lunged there. The right leg goes up. The player goes down, and the referee is entitled to give a penalty.
What do you think, Jamie?
Yeah, for me it's a penalty. You can see it. William Gallo sticks out his right leg, tries to get a bit on the ball, and I'm a firm believer in Ashley Cole's, the way he's reacted to it. He wants a penalty, and he firmly believes it was.
It was I mean, it really was a cracking start, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Jens Lehmann making saves in the first minute, and again he had to make a good stop in the last minute of that half.
Yeah, I mean, wonderful ball through here, Damien. I mean, Cole has had a problem. I mean, we talked about the incident. The keeper did come out, and perhaps Damien might have gone a little bit more positive. This was the save the second time. But it seems Chelsea had most of their joy on that crossfield ball. I mean, John Terry played some fantastic balls out, Frank Lampard a couple of times, and Ashley was finding it difficult to come to terms with it all. And it's an avenue that, you know, is probably still on, because even at the end of the game, like, he didn't learn after the first 10 minutes. For chance after chance that Chelsea have created, it has come from that right wing.
You're a great advocate of Drogba before the start. Have Chelsea missed him?
Yes, most definitely, especially against Arsenal, because I know that Sonderos will be delighted that Crespo was playing, who will not offer the physical threat that Drogba undoubtedly has, you know, that he hasn't. And the fact of the matter is, every time Chelsea look up, the only ball they've got is that ball out to the right wing to Ashley Cole, because Crespo is not the player to back in to Sonderos, hold the ball up and bring the players into play like Drogba did in Cardiff, where he won the game for Chelsea. He was the difference, and I find it hard to believe he's not playing here today.
Freddie has gone, incidentally, Freddie Ljungberg, to hospital for an x-ray on his injury. Early on he was required. On the line, Jamie. Andy's a great believer in having men on the line.
Yeah, Andy's right. I mean, that shows it. He was in the right place. It beats Lehmann hands down. It was a good header actually by Delorno, who's very, very good in the air. He's one of the strongest, and they brought him up from left back, and I think he's this year in attacking free kicks, corners. I think he's going to be a real threat for
Will
Chelsea.
Arsenal be the happier?
Yeah, I think so. This was a great bit of play. That first touch by Kleb was fantastic. Henry gets one-on-one with Gallas. Not a lot on, but he picks out a great pass. And he's slightly unlucky, just gets underneath it. And it was Delorno actually does quite well and just manages to get that little touch there that puts off Freddie. And unfortunately, that was the end of Freddie after that.
The one thing Arsenal will be really happy about, I mean, to me, is Kleb. I mean, I think he's been fantastic. I mean, we spoke about in the game, will he be able to mix it in a big match like this? He's only in the Premiership a couple of weeks, and wow, I mean, I think he's been fantastic. He's dictated Arsenal's attacking patterns all the time. He's worked hard. He's been Arsenal's best player. And again, another Arsene Wenger little gem. While everybody was worried, all these big signings were flying about. Nice and quietly, he's brought another one in that looks, tailor-made to play with Arsenal.
And if Andy's right that the second halves tend to be a little better than first in the Premiership these days, we're in for quite a second 45. Can you still do this, Jamie?
Oh, I wish I could. Yeah, look at her. Oh my God, what's that about? That's not Andy with a wig on, is it?
No, all part of the half-time entertainment at the bridge. Well done, son. That's brilliant. Second half comes next. Next Saturday, the pay-per-view offering starts at midday. It's the Birmingham derby between West Brom and the Blues. Channel 437 for details of how to order that, or dial 08705 160 160. And Super Sunday, next Sunday, 1 o'clock. First up, it's Middlesbrough against Charlton, followed by Newcastle and Manchester United. Jamie Redknapp, what do you do if you have that running at you?
It's fantastic, isn't it? Look.
How'd you stop him?
No, said he can do that.
Joke.
It's beautiful.
And look at the finish. Go on, son.
Nearly took the boy's head off.
One change, Niall. Drogba for Crespo.
Well, there you go. I mean, fair play to him, but perhaps it's 45 minutes too late. Although it's not really, because I think he's given Crespo a chance. Hasn't quite come off him, but to me, it was so obvious. At least now they have another option. They don't just have to stick to that wide ball. They can play a ball up front, and it'll stick. Well, I hope, and it'll be laid off, and they will have a better option now of getting shots in and goal.
OK, let's get all that confirmed as we rejoin Andy Gray and Alan Parry.
Thanks, Richard. Yes, one of the many qualities that Mourinho has displayed in his short time in English football is a lack of any fear about making changes when he feels it's necessary. He did, of course, at half-time at Wigan a week ago, and he's doing so again here today with Didier Drogba, as you've heard, coming on in place of Hernan Crespo.
Well, what he's done is he's admitting in many ways he's made a mistake, I think. Because sometimes you come to the ground, I get here earlier, try and write down the team. Drogba was in mind purely on the back of what he had done in the Community Shield. I couldn't understand why that was ignored, Alan. And having seen so little of Crespo in the first half, well, he may not be as silky and as smooth as Crespo, but if he's effective, then in a game like this, that's all you're wanting.
Well, under Mourinho, Chelsea are now halfway towards yet another record. They're unbeaten in 38 successive home games in all competitions. 39 would be a new club record to add to all those they got last season. And of course they set Premiership records for number of points, number of victories and most clean sheets. But this is a whole new season, a whole new ball game, and Arsenal have given as good as they've got so far, even though it is Chelsea who've come closest to scoring. Drogba for Crespo, the only change, and he will be player cam for the first 15 minutes of the second half. He played for his country, the Ivory Coast, in midweek. They lost 3-0 against France. Thierry Henry was one of the goal scorers for the French. Fine ball by Fabregas. Here's Lauren. Perez just inside. Kleb again dropping off his man, making room. Van Persie, who came on as a sub, of course, for the injured Freddie Ljungberg during the first half. Lampard wins it back for Chelsea and tries to get Drogba straight into the action. Senderos has to make a decision here, and maybe he chose the wrong one. The referee has said it was handball. I thought he smashed it straight into his face.
That's an extraordinary decision. I don't see what Didier Drogba could have done about this. What are they apart? 2 yards? Not even. That's hit him in the face, in fact. It's just, even if it hits him in the arm, it's still not a free kick. But maybe a little sign of what's in store, because Frank Lampard got that forward ever so quickly, a little bit too quickly.
With Johnson finding Paulo Ferreira. Kleb just having a little nibble at his ankles there.
No, now Quinn say Kleb. He felt Kleb was Arsenal's best player in the first half. I disagree. I thought he was the game's best player. He was the best player on the pitch.
And Terry blunders through that tackle and he gives it away to Robert Pires. Very tight for him on that touchline. Only there to help out and shows his strength. We know all about his pace and his goal-scoring ability, his skill. He's a strong man as well.
Well, there's a bit of a mishmash going on over there. Chelsea wanted a free kick from Henry, didn't get it. And then I think Delorme, when he was on the ground, penalised for bringing down Henry. He made a run off the ball.
Well, dissent won't be tolerated this season. Senderos. Kleb. Now Ashley Cole. Thierry Henry, the furthest forward for Arsenal here. Fabregas. Lauren. Perez up against Del Horno. And the Spaniard's been a very impressive addition to this Chelsea squad. Bainbridge fit again now, of course, training. Garras stabs it away. Drogba. It's a good layoff for Lampard. Robin was offside. Extremely hot afternoon here at Stamford Bridge, and remembering that the players, almost all of them, have had midweek internationals, which in many cases involved a lot of travelling as well.
Hey, it's August. Do me a favour.
That's why it's hot.
Yeah, well, you're going to suggest they're tired?
Well, I wouldn't like to do, for instance, what Petr Cech did this week. He's had about 5 different flights.
He's a goalie. He's hardly going to be running about, is he? Goodness
He might have to if Arsenal's attack sharpens up here. Fabregas. Given away to Gudjonsson. Now Kleb. Van Persie. Thierry Henry. 3 facing him. But he still finds a way through to Van Persie. Well, he just showed a little bit of temper there. Not for the first time in his young career.
I think it was a foul. Oh, he's given him a yellow card. Damien Duff just gets back at him here. There's a little hack at him.
And he's upset the Chelsea fans before, of course, in clashes between these two teams. And here becomes the first caution of the game, 5 minutes into the second half. Gallas was also shown the yellow card for that clash, or perhaps something he said.
Well, sometimes don't. Players from opposition don't help, do they, when they run in like that? It's difficult for the referee then, sometimes, to make a measured judgment of what's actually happened.
Ian Robin, was he being held from behind? There goes on, Lampard. Gudjonsson. That was a handball. An early free kick, but it doesn't catch Arsenal out. Toure was ready. Louder. There's Henry up against Del Horno. Quickly into the challenge. Chelsea fans certainly like what they've seen of him so far. Made his debut, of course, against Arsenal in the Community Shield. I think that's gone over the line.
No, it's not. Flag stayed down.
And it did. The players were all looking at the linesman. It's a fine ball. Fabregas to Cole. Clab. Still Ashley Cole. Clab. Is he the man who can unlock this impressive Chelsea defence? Henry. Oh, became a little untidy in the middle. Good little spell though for Arsenal. And it's all opened up for Fabregas, but his shot was, shall we say, wayward.
Yeah. He doesn't make many wrong choices, the young man. But he might have done there.
Scored 3 goals last season when he made over 40 appearances in his first full season. Only just 18.
Well, that must be a free kick. Surely against Senderos.
Kleb's done brilliantly. Cole. Henry. Far side of the penalty area. Thierry Henry.
They don't play many long balls, but when they do, they're usually of this quality. Super play. And just watch this for a crossfield pass. Henry just pulls away, he knows exactly where he wants it, so does Cole. And the only surprise is, having controlled it beautifully, he doesn't hit the target and make the goalkeeper work. He actually had really good support. It's just coming back off the ground when he hits it, made it difficult. But he had really good support from Robert Perez, had he seen him on the edge of the box.
Here's Paulo Ferreira. Now Gallas. Duff. Nicolelli's shaken off Van Persie. Arsenal man got a foot in, but he still finds Gudjonsson. Now Del Horno. Drogba in the middle. Took that brilliantly. Unlucky. And he's doing a bit of cheerleading as well.
Again, a decent ball in.
Paulo Ferreira. Lampard played it in without really looking. And Paulo Ferreira got back well. Here's Gallas for Chelsea. Makelele. Fabregas intercepts before it reaches Lampard, who hasn't given up yet, but will have to now. Alexander Kleb. Arsenal's most dangerous player. But he got that one wrong, I'm afraid.
Yeah, he did. But you can see already how he's in tune with what players around him require and what he must do. You never see him just tossing it aimlessly into the box. He's always looking for little runs, little slide balls, keeping the possession.
Drogba again, showing that physical side to his game. It's left Senderos on the ground for the moment. He's back on his feet.
Well, if he had an easy ride of it first half, Senderos, I think he's going to know he's been in a game by the end of this now.
Chance for Perez to open things up. No free kick. Arsenal fans furious. Chelsea get on with it. Damien Duff in possession. Oh, well played. Lampard. Oh, almost fine. Gudjonsson.
Well, I have to say, at the beginning of this half, this is as stretched as this game has been.
Kleb. Things really opening up now for both teams. Kleb touching his shoulder or his face, is it, after that challenge with Makelele, but He's back on his feet. Thierry Henry. And the layoff finds Henry again. Clever ball back in from Van Persie. Almost over-elaborate in the end.
Yeah. You know, if there's something you can say about Arsenal is that sometimes, and I mean sometimes, they maybe just take a pass too many. I thought when it was touched back to Henry, it was there to hit. And he looked for another one too.
Clab.
Well, I'm looking down. There's a double substitution about to be made. It's going to be Sean Wright, Phillips and Essien. How much is that between them? What, 50 million the best part of?
More than you and I have got in our bank account, let's say that. Underlining what I said at half-time, if he feels it's time for a change, he's not afraid to make it, Mourinho.
Well, they're at home, and I think the onus is on them to change the game. And see, I think Arsene Wenger will be absolutely delighted the way his team have played today.
Fabregas. Loudon. Just kept going. Got round 2 Chelsea men. And then rather wasted it with the cross, but momentarily there. Czech did make a mistake.
Well, who's going off? What was your money be on? It's certainly Duff or Robin. And I guess Johnson might well be the other. That would be my guess.
As Lampard takes them forward again to the first substitute, Didier Drogba! When composure was needed, it was absent.
Well, I think he's had a bit of stick from one of the Chelsea fans who felt he should have done better. I think he's offside. He is. I thought that. I'm not right in line, but I thought at the time he was off. But when the flag doesn't go up, I mean, when that's your strong side, then you've got to do better than that. I have to be honest.
Plenty wrong with the shot, nothing wrong with his hearing if he managed to pick up what somebody behind the goal said to him in this big crowd of over 40,000. Well, you were
Robin's not going to be happy either, because it looks like his number's going up as well. I think Johnson was an easy one with Essien coming on.
Heidegger Johnson goes off, and on in his place, the latest of the Galacticos at Stamford Bridge, the 22-year-old Ghanaian international who cost a club record reputed to be in the region of £26 million. Robin is the other to go off. And on in his place, Sean Wright Phillips, who of course missed England's international in midweek with a knee problem. Came on as a half-time sub at Wigan and played the last 20 minutes of the Community Shield against Arsenal. And if anyone doubted the depth and quality of Chelsea's squad, well, there you have it. Yeah. Drogba, Wright Phillips and Essien, the 3 changes.
Well, that's best part of £60 million worth of footballers that have just come on. I think 70 million, I'm being told, so goodness me. Well, certainly no other club in the country can do that.
And not many others in the world, I would think. Fabregas. Roberto. And we'll be fascinated to see, of course, where the new man Essien plays. He's supposed to be multifunctional, according to his manager, and play almost any of the midfield positions required of him.
Well, just play alongside Lampard and Makaleli. It's a simple one today.
You can find out how he does in his first 15 minutes as a Chelsea player. He's the subject on the hour of our player camp. Paulo Ferreira finds Wright Phillips. Bundled over by Cole.
Well, if anybody knows the threat of Sean Wright Phillips, it will be Ashley Cole. What with him, is it? In an England squad, and it was so evident there that when the ball went to him, Cole was there in a flash. Didn't let him get turned and running at him. It's going to be a right good little battle.
Del Horno. Makaleli loses out for once in a challenge, but Essien is there to pick up the pieces. Allocated, as you can see, the number 5 jersey. Garas. Right, Phillips. Sandros has it back for Arsenal. Henry just lost the flight of the ball for a moment. Roberto. Kleb. Free kick. Arsenal took it too quickly in from the wrong place. Fabregas. Here's Ashley Cole. Henry got the shout from Gilberto behind him. And on to Toure. Pires. Kleb. Forward for Van Persie, but just a bit too long. He's made something of it, though. It's a Chelsea throw.
Pretty good figures there for Arsenal in the second half. But it just shows you, with all the possession they've had, still haven't quite fashioned out a chance. I can't remember Czech making a save yet.
Here's Pires. Roberto. Fabregas. Toure thundering in behind him as he picks out Toure. Now Gilberto again. Sloppy ball straight to Essien. And Duff gets on his bike and shows a clean pair of heels to the defenders. Pogba drifting out to the left this time. That doesn't leave too many in the middle, apart from the diminutive Wright Phillips. Lampard. Paulo Ferreira. Here is Wright Phillips. And Cole once again snapped into the challenge instantly. And continues moving forward. Good ball as well. Van Persie.
I have to say, that is a super ball. And that, to me, is the one thing that lets Arsenal down occasionally. The lad had nowhere to go. He had no support. It's a fabulous ball, just dropping at the back post, 6 yards out. And the nearest player's 20 yards from it.
Toure and Senderos forward for the corner again. Senderos almost got a touch on that. And he can stay where he is. It's another corner kick. Fabregas, different option and not a successful one. Now Wright Phillips was flawed and I think giving Cole the benefit of the doubt. Well, I was going to say it was an accident, but the referee obviously disagrees.
Well, he said a thrash at the ball, Ashley Cole. In all honesty, I don't think his intention was to play the ball there, but when he misses it, he catches Sean Wright Phillips. A free kick, but no more than that.
Essien, back to Garas. Essien's hardly had time to even train with his new teammates, let alone play alongside them yet. He does speak near perfect English, I'm told, so that won't be a problem. Except that not too many others do here. Pardon? I'm not falling for that one. Essien with a very ambitious and perfect ball. Wright Phillips cross, Drogba was waiting.
A little bit more elevation on that, and he misses out the goalkeeper, and Drogba's got a simple header.
Good challenge again by Delhorn. Henry once more showing his strength, but he's running into danger here, and it was his strength and the tackle that got him out of it. And this fascinating, cagey contest continues with Pires in possession for Arsenal. Corner kick. Third in quick succession now for Wenger's team, and Del Horno has stayed down.
Oh, just stretching for that on the tackle. Yeah, just stretching for this.
Of course, one of the possible drawbacks of Mourinho being so adventurous in the use of his substitutes is that if you get an injury, there's still an awful lot of the game to go, and they haven't got anybody left that they can bring on.
Well, they did that at Newcastle last year, St James's, when Wayne Bridge had that horrendous injury, but that was at half-time. He certainly hasn't done that, but what he's given his substitutes, and there's a chance to influence the game, a good chance.
And here's one of them, Wright Phillips. Foul's gone against him.
I have to say, officials do get too busy at times. That's the only thing you'd say.
Didn't seem much wrong, did that? Wasted that opportunity, Arsenal. Flick on by Wright Phillips. Drogba chasing it down. Senderos focused, determined. He knows all about the ability of the man straight up against him now. Three-quarters of the way through. Chelsea perhaps just edging it at the moment, but so close, impossible to call.
Well, they're probably edging it with regards to chances. But I think as Arsenal are playing at Stamford Bridge, they're away from home. I think they'd be pretty pleased with the way they've played. For the majority of the way they've defended. Still I think Arsenal would like to be creating more for all the possession they've had.
Makelele winning it back. Brilliant. Lampard. Wright Phillips. Lampard switches the angle of play with a lovely ball. Del Horno. Drogba peeling away to the far post, but the ball safely in Lehmann's hands.
We talked about goal attempts. An awful lot of those are early on in the game. Not too many saves, I would guess. Only twice. If Chelsea asked the question.
Fabregas. And he was relieved to hear the whistle go there because he'd given it away. Although I've referred to Chelsea's awful record down the years against Arsenal, they are actually unbeaten against them in the last 5 meetings in all competitions. And Mourinho has yet to taste defeat against Wenger's team. Robin van Persie with a free kick. Plenty of targets for him. Well, it wasn't a bad header.
It was a threat, Gilberto. Pretty sure it was him who got in the end of it.
Yeah. Foul on Essien. Terry. Now Del Horno. Lampard. Clever. Essien. Paulo Ferreira. Wright Phillips out on the wing. Here he is. Cole in again.
He's not giving him a chance, is he? Anytime the ball goes near Sean Wright Phillips. Actually, Cole's right there.
But Wright Phillips determinedly wins it back. And the crowd like that. Ferreira. Plenty forward still for Chelsea. They've got to take care not to leave the door open at the back as John Terry sweeps it forward for Drogba. First time cross. And another free kick goes against Sean Wright-Phillips.
We're getting to the stage where any form of contact is going to bring a free kick. We don't want to see that in the game, that's for sure.
Kolo Touré. And he keeps going, the big central defender. And keeps going further still. It's a great run. Well, if Van Persie could have finished that off, it would have been huge congratulations for the man who made it possible.
Well, it's impossible for him to finish it off. I just wondered if Fabregas going in behind him. I'm a little surprised that Thierry Henry didn't try and make more ground. He just stands there. You see the arms go out right at the screen. Didn't try to get in there, but Fabregas is right behind Van Persie. I guess it came to him too quickly to get out of the way.
Whistle's gone again. Chelsea strike first, and when Mourinho's men take the lead, they usually go on to win.
Well, I'm not so sure how much he knows about this. This is an attempt at controlling the ball, and he gets so lucky. Cannon's off his shin. Before he knows it, it's past Lehmann. Is it offside? Oh, I tell you, I think he's off. I think he's off. So lucky twice. Lucky because he's offside. He's ahead of Senderos. But watch this. Control it, mate. Control it. Oh, no, I won't bother. Goodness me, get your bite on them. Tell you what. Oh. This is control. Go on, I'll bring it under control. Hits him on the right shin. Goodness me. And it goes your way. It goes your way. I'd be a little embarrassed to claim that. Yeah, he's right.
And they all count. Embarrassed on the bench, was that?
They all count.
Might be the scruffiest goal Didier Drogba ever scores. Might be one of the most important as a Chelsea player. Henry trying to recover things at the other end as Van Persie goes down, and the free kick has actually gone against him. So the man who spoilt Arsene Wenger's day in Cardiff in the Community Shield is threatening to do so again.
Well, a bit interesting when Arsene Wenger sees that after the match.
Well, no question it was lucky. The other question is, should it have stood?
I just don't know how good the linesman's position is in this near side. I don't think he's smack on. I don't think he's smack in line. And therefore, he didn't give the decision. But it certainly looked offside to me. First thing I thought was, looked at the flag as soon as the ball was played. When it stayed down, well, it's just good fortune after that.
Here's Wright-Phillips. SCN chasing for all he's worth. Good challenge by Senderos. 15 minutes to go. Chelsea lead in the first major clash of the season between two of the championship contenders.
It's a familiar scoreline for Chelsea. 11 times last year, I believe it was 1-0 to Chelsea. 1-0 last week, 1-0 at the moment.
Crespo got him out of jail 7 days ago. Today, it's Drogba as SEN gets the ball to the byline. The cross dealt with by Senderos. Referee's reaching for another card here for Foul Makelele.
He knew what he was doing. The ball was breaking. He was spinning in behind him, and Makelele, it's one of these, I'll take a yellow card here. Because when he's going away, look at that, arms around him, he knows, I'll take a yellow card.
What have Arsenal got by way of a response? Alexander Kleb. Cole. Now they need the captain to perform now. Henry's shot! And he almost caught out Czech.
Well, it's taken him to go a goal down. It's taken him to the 77th minute before they warm the goalkeeper's hands. That's how long it's been. That's quite a comfortable one, but what he did well, because it sat up in front of him, was made sure he pushed it clear.
Arsenal in front of their own fans. No, the time is running out. Henry. So often their saviour. Can he be so again? It's a clever little ball. Fabregas couldn't get it under control. There's a big shout for handball, but Lampard has broken clear anyway. And Duff, way out on the left, is totally unmarked. And it's Gallas, of all people, who continues the attack.
Oh, he struck it well enough.
Free kick. Extraordinary counter-attack.
Well, Frank Lampard, that was a shout from behind the goal. Handball as he tries to flick this over. You're not going to get that. The hand doesn't go up, it just brushes against it. That's a good decision.
And Percy fails to get it back to Henry. Well, remember, it was Arsene Wenger who said that the points today would count double. He firmly believes that it's how well you do in games against your closest rivals that influence the outcome of the title.
You've got to not so much win them, Alan, but you don't want to lose them. I said that it's not a must-win game today, but you certainly don't want to lose a game like this. You share the points, and you go home quite happy and get this game out of the way. You can manage to win it, though. What a real shot in the arm it is. I have to say, I think Chelsea have been anything but at their best, and certainly I've seen them last week. I saw them last week. I've seen them this week. There's a lot of improving to do, although they've just sit there and say, well, that may be the case, but we're sitting with 6 points, and at the moment haven't conceded a goal.
And of course, conceding goals is something they specialised in, or not conceding them last season. Only 15, the fewest in the history of England's top division. And Mourinho's men have got just a shade over 10 minutes to keep that record intact. Another clean sheet will mean another 3 points. Kleb. And it goes again to Van Persie. Come out to Gilberto. Lauren. Fabregas. Lauren's cross comes straight back to him. Off Essien. Cole. And now they leave themselves vulnerable to a counter-attack. Senderos was very lucky. Well, Wenger will be furious about that. John Terry happy to go backwards. 10 minutes to go. More live football for you on Sky Sports 1 next Sunday. Middlesbrough against Charlton. That programme begins at 1 o'clock. Newcastle against Manchester United follows it. Also on Sky Sports 1. Manchester United, too, have made a 6-point start to the season. They lost here, remember, a year ago. Are Arsenal going to go down the same road?
By the same scoreline.
Handball. Aaron tries to produce the innocent look, and better be careful about that. Normally that would have led to a yellow card.
I don't know how he can look innocent there. Arms above his shoulder, pulls it down.
Back it goes again. Check, looking for Drogba, who's aware that Senderos is right behind him. The two clashed. Foul's gone against the Chelsea man. Used an arm as he climbed for the ball. Minutes to go, plus stoppage time. Lab loses control. Del Horno very nearly presented that to Thierry Henry. Just enough strength on the header, though. Drogba, what a fine kick that was by Cech. The goalkeeper to pick him out, but Arsenal regain possession. Ashley Cole.
Amazing in football. The amount of times we bang on about having a good first touch, and here Chelsea are 1 up because of one that got away. Really poor control.
In off the shin by Didier Drogba. But I won't say that in the Monday morning newspapers.
Oh yeah, it will.
There's Thierry Henry. Weak sweetly, but straight at the keeper.
Yeah, weaker side is left. And all of that showed. Looking for accuracy rather than power.
Drogba and Senderos clash again. Del Horno. Good turn of pace by him. No free kick this time.
Well, there's a couple down. Duff's getting up, but Del Horno staying down.
Second time he's felt pain in this second half. It's Del Horno. Played for Spain in midweek against Uruguay.
Arsene Wenger's about to make another change. Flamini's going to come on.
He's going to replace the other midfield youngster, Cesc Fabregas. And I suppose some would say, well, that could be Arsenal's problem. An 18-year-old goes off, a relatively inexperienced 21-year-old comes on, whereas Chelsea can bring on the likes of Drogba, Essien and Wright Phillips.
Oh, well, we know, but I mean, you can say that about any club in the country, couldn't you, really? Maybe apart from, I guess, Manchester United, who have quite a decent squad now.
He's got to carry on, Del Horno, unless he could make the injury more serious by playing on.
I just think Arsenal's big worries in games like this is who can they bring on where you see a goal? You know, Freddie Ljungberg's gone off. That leaves two. That leaves Perez and Henry. The main goal for Arsene Wenger. He looks behind him and does he see a goal there? I think that's a big problem. Mourinho didn't see a goal, but he could look behind and he could see Drogba, Sean Wright Phillips, Essien. All can get him a goal.
I think a lot of people were surprised that Jose Antonio Reyes wasn't in the squad for Arsenal today, and he is fit. There's no injury problem. I checked that with Arsene Wenger before the kickoff. Wenger quick to go and retrieve the ball. He knows that the clock is not on Arsenal's side now, into the last 5 minutes. After 19 Premiership matches without defeat against Chelsea, Mourinho's man finally going to end that sequence. Cole. Pires. There have been lots of late goals, and many of them from unexpected sources in matches between these two teams over the years, so let's not assume anything at this stage.
No. We saw some of them earlier on the show. Kanu hat-trick, Nigel Winterburn blockbuster. Remember a Silvino late on in the game, smash one in at the end at the defending at the moment.
SEN doing well. Damien Duff. Sandros just got enough purchase on the header, only just. Crowder. Here's Gilberto. On to Pires. Has he got a goal in him today? Henry. Good challenge by Wright Phillips. Clever ball as well. It just made Sandros backpedal. Pires, Henry. Clem. Just beginning to fade after a very, very excellent first half and beginning to the second. But he still looks bright and lively. Anywhere will do for Chelsea, but they are giving Arsenal a lot of possession.
Yeah, but they're not really doing enough with it, Arsenal. I mean, it's admirable. They stick to the policies, they stick to the way they believe, the beliefs of pass, but they do get extremely narrow. It's like now, you look there and you look where Ferrara is, look how infield he is, and you look at Del Horno on the other side, and then the two centre-backs. It's hardly anywhere to go for Arsenal, and you can defend like that against them.
Check will take his time now. Here's Cole. Nowhere to go. And SEN robs him, and then Cole foolishly lashes out.
Trouble. Oh, he's lucky. Looks like it's yellow. See the yellow card in Graham Paul's hand. Because when he loses this, I think he just takes a hack at SEN. That's cynical. He's a lucky boy. You see what some players were sent off for yesterday.
Sheer frustration, but doesn't excuse it. Chelsea reject is the inevitable taunt from the home fans.
Well, I know it shouldn't, but the fact that we're in the 90th minute might have something to do with the referee's decision to make that card yellow instead of red.
Here's Del Horno. Almost made the top tier of the stand.
Well, there's only one thing remains now, and that's how much time have we got? With 10 seconds to go. It's just about to go up.
Mr. Styles knows.
Can't envisage too much time, or really. A couple of minutes, is it? The standard. 3 it is.
3 minutes separate Chelsea from victory over the team that preceded them as champions of the Barclays Premiership. Well, he was at pains to tell everyone beforehand that it was just another match, just 3 points. I wonder what he'll say afterwards if they win. Penny for his thoughts too. And Arsenal beginning to lose their discipline.
Oh, he's given him a yellow card. Is that for kicking the ball away? I can only think it must be. It certainly cannot be for the challenge. It's a little nudge, but I think when the whistle's blown, Senderos comes down and just hacks the ball away. That's it, just there. So dissent will go in the referee's book.
All helping Chelsea, keeping the ball in Arsenal's half. Lampard will slow it down even more.
I was going to see in the corner.
And another needless foul by Pires this time. Just playing into Chelsea's hands.
No, I don't think the officials have helped him anyway. I've been rather keen to put his whistle to his mouth, Graham Poll, and he's not normally like that.
Chelsea were the only team in all 4 divisions of English football unbeaten at home last season, and it looks as though they're about to start another Stamford Bridge campaign in the same manner. Surely not enough time for Arsenal to get 1 goal, let alone 2.
Well, it doesn't normally, but surely this has got to be launched.
They're obliged, and Drogba was given offside. This might be Arsenal's final attack, their final chance to rescue something.
Well, Arsene Wenger's furious, and he doesn't usually get upset with his team passing the ball. But that free kick in the halfway line, as we approach the final few seconds, I think he just wanted it tossed in. It didn't happen. He was livid.
Senderos knows Drogba's right behind him, and he's given it away. He can finish it off here, and should have done. Perhaps he should have miscontrolled that one as well. Maybe he did.
No, you're not getting an easier chance. Bouncing beautifully, goalkeeper in no man's land. It's a simple act to just lob it over him.
But there now are only seconds remaining at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea edging towards a crucial psychological victory and a crucial 3 points. Gallas heads clear. There's the whistle. Didier Drogba's goal proved to be the winner, and Chelsea have defeated one of their main rivals for the title, just as they did a year ago against Manchester United. That sparked celebrations on that day, celebrations that just about went on for the next 10 months as they took their first championship for 50 years. And I wonder how important the 3 points will be here today. Blue is the colour at Stamford Bridge. Arsenal will feel aggrieved at the manner of the goal and at the fact that, for all their possession, they didn't trouble Petr Cech in the Chelsea goal often enough. And Chelsea's wealth of multi-million-pound substitutes made the difference in the second half. A disappointed Arsene Wenger greets his players as they disappear from the arena. And Lampard, yet again, leads the cheers for Chelsea. And the man whose millions have made them what they are can celebrate again. Final score, Chelsea 1, Arsenal 0.
The first win in 20 for Chelsea against Arsenal, a run stretching back 10 years. That's the bottom end. Earlier today, Everton beat Bolton by 1-0 to move themselves to 11th. 3 yet to get off the mark at the bottom: Sunderland, Pompey and Wigan. Bolton down a place today on the back of their defeat into 13th. Top half: Blackburn, Arsenal stay where they were. Liverpool, West Brom, Manchester City, West Ham and now Chelsea join the top 4 on maximum points from their 2 games played. It's Chelsea, United, Charlton and Tottenham still top. There's live cricket now over on Sky Sports 2. Somerset against Durham, 7:30 tonight on 2, the last day of the NEC Invitational. That's golf, of course. It's Roddick against Federer in the Masters final now on Sky Sports Extra. That from Cincinnati. And IndyCar on Extra tonight at 8:30, the Honda 225 series. Tomorrow night from the Carling Cup, it's Southend against Southampton, 7:30 start on Sky Sports 1. So Chelsea by 1-0. Again, Jamie Redknapp and Niall Quinn are waiting to give their thoughts on that. We'll also, of course, name the man of the match and get reaction from all round as Chelsea make it 2 out of 2 at the start of this brand new season. There's so much football this week, it's worth making a note. Mention once again tomorrow night's Carling Cup game between Southend and Southampton. It's a 7:30 start on Sky Sports 1. There is a full Premiership fixture card this week, spread across 2 days. It's the first chance to see the evening's football on Tuesday night at 10:30 on Football First, match choice only, and on Wednesday night, the same opportunity, 10:30 start again, Sky Sports 1. This coming Friday from the Championship, it's Queen's Park Rangers against Sheffield Wednesday. Saturday at midday on Prem Plus, it's a pay-per-view offering West Brom meet Birmingham. Channel 437 for details of how to order that, or as usual, you can dial 08705 160 160. Saturday at 5:15 again from the Championship, two teams going really well at the start of this season, Watford and Reading, Sky Sports 1. Next Super Sunday, we've got two more games back-to-back. First up, it's Middlesbrough against Charlton, followed by Newcastle and Manchester United. Let's hear from the goal scorer and the man of the match. They're both with Jeff Shreves.
Well done, Didier. Frank, just how big a win was that?
That's massive. I think we didn't play well last week. We got a bit lucky with the result today. We wanted to prove something. Wanted to prove this year we're ready to go again, and we're playing one of our main rivals. And I thought the lads were brilliant all game.
Your manager says it's just 3 points. Why is he wrong, in your opinion?
No, he's right. It is 3 points, and there's a long, long way to go. But just a feeling now we have of getting one over. We haven't beaten them for years in the league. I think we thoroughly deserved it. We created good chances, and well done, Diddy, for coming on and getting the goal.
Didier, you got the goal. Did you know much about it?
It was a good ball from Lems, and a fantastic control from me. Now I was a little bit lucky, and I think 1-0 is a good result, but both teams plays well, so it was a difficult game and difficult to come in for me, but our team is fantastic, the way we defend, and it's good for us.
You say difficult to come in. Is that because you were surprised to be left out?
No surprise, because I played 90 minutes against Wigan, 70 minutes against France, so I was a little bit tired, and this is the choice of the manager, so I have to deal with it.
As soon as you scored, you went straight into the crowd to find some guy. What were you saying to him?
No, it's nothing special, it's okay.
It was the chap who gave you some stick earlier, wasn't it? Were you proving a point?
Yeah, but it's finished now. We won, and this is the most important thing.
Frank, this early in the season, how long can this last psychologically for you, this victory?
Well, and as long as we make it last, I think this is great for us now. Great start for us, 6 points on the board, one over on Arsenal. But, as I said before, there's lots of games and a very tough game midweek against West Brom, and we need to keep our standards that we set last year.
Was it even more important after not performing at Wigan, even though you won?
Yeah, I think it was for our confidence, for us as a team. We know we're a lot better than that. I think we showed that today, and I think you've got to look at the two games and look at our squad and say in the first game, Hernan's come on and won it for us. Today, did he come on and won it for us? And that's testament to the whole squad.
So despite the events of this week, a very happy squad?
Very happy. When we win, we're very happy, and that's the way it is.
That's fair enough. Today you're the Barclays man of the match. Didier, will you do the honours, please?
Thank you. Cheers, Diddy.
Congratulations, my man.
Thank you. Thank you. Cheers, well done. Cheers, Jeff. Thanks.
No secret he's about to become a dad soon. There might be a very good reason to celebrate with that champagne shortly. Are Chelsea rising to the challenge of being champions, or are they fortuitously picking results up at the moment?
No, I think today they certainly rose to the challenge. I think last week there was definitely a bit fortuitous. It was a tough game for them against Wigan. Wigan pushed them all the way, but I felt today they just about edged it. Arsenal play some good stuff at times, but just didn't have that cutting edge, and as I say, I think Chelsea edged it today.
What are Arsenal missing right now? Or is it?
Gosh, it's someone to take shots on goal, really, when you look at the stats after that game. 77 minutes before they had their first shot, and that was on target. There's a real need. I mean, people talk about Vieira and the creativity and the strength in midfield. There was a couple of times Arsenal got into good positions. Kleb had orchestrated a few things, and the player on the ball looked up, and there was nobody within 25 yards of the goal. And I think Thierry Henry had dropped deep so often and so much that it was very easy for the Chelsea defenders to look good, mop things up, and snuff them out. And I think to get Arsenal back on track, I think, a signing somewhere up front. I mean, Michael Owen is the one for me, stands out a mile.
Is it too easy to say they're missing Vieira then?
Well, I think so. I mean, he's going to be missed. A player of his stature and what he's done for the club is going to be missed. And also the fact that, Essien would have been an ideal replacement, but Arsenal can't compete with Chelsea, adds to, it compels it even more, that Arsenal are finding it difficult. But at the same time, they've got to get on with it. And I mean, Kleb is a plus for them. I think he's really, really good.
Was you not surprised now that he didn't have a replacement ready though, once Vieira had gone?
I would have thought when you're lining up something like that, that's something. But of course, there's talk Manchester United at Essien lined up, and of course they have difficulties in that area because Young Smith now is the person that's been lined up to do that job. So these clubs just can't come out and buy for the sake of it. There's got to be somebody who can do the job.
So if you had £8 or £10 million now, where would you be looking?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily be trying to find a midfielder to go in there at this moment.
A goal scorer.
I think Arsenal need a goal scorer, and if Michael Owen comes and plays with Arsenal, he will appreciate what they do around the box, that little intricate movements that they have. He'll read things, but he'll put his head down and shoot. I think that's what Arsenal didn't have today. And when balls are starting to come in around the box, Michael Owen won't be 25 yards out looking on like some of the Arsenal players are now.
It's nice to know that Didier Drogba's got a sense of humour, but was it first of all a free kick leading up to the goal?
I'm not too sure. There was a free kick just before against Sean Wright-Phillips that was given just down here in the corner, and I think that was almost evened it up a little bit. But it was just after the free kick. So I can't see that. Ashley Cole's won the ball there, but this was brilliant by Frank Lampard. He's looking up all the time. The quick ball. He's realised that Drogba has got a yard on Zenderos and was starting to give him a problem pretty much since he came on at half time. And he obviously, Drogba said it was one of his better touches, and he's gone back for a bit of extra there with a guy. God, don't give it. He was after him.
I think you realised straight after, though, in the interview, you could tell that he shouldn't really have done that.
Yeah, but it's passion and a little bit. We've all done it before. He took a little bit of stick.
Have you done it before? Have you found someone that's been giving you some aggravation?
Certainly have. Yeah, and you remember it. But it's just when the game's finished, and if you've won or if you've scored a goal like that, you're obviously absolutely delighted.
This is the moment I think that irritated him, wasn't it? This one that even though he should have done better with that, and he's. Yeah, well, we don't need that, do we?
No, he wasn't happy, but he's proved the point. He's got the winner for his team, so he's the guy's happy. And
was he offside? That was the point Andy made in commentary. Was he offside?
Andy seemed fairly definite about it at the time. I just felt, that it was debatable. I don't think we could be too hard on the referee, because if he was offside, I think it was a fraction. But
I think Lauren
on the far side,
maybe just keeps him on.
Yeah, but it was the quick thinking. I mean, we'll watch it here, just at the point of contact. I mean, it's very debatable there. Possibly a third of a yard. I mean,
for me, I think he's on.
Yeah,
I like to see him given the advantage anyway.
I do, yeah. But in fairness, Lampard made the whole thing happen, and Drogba, who had started to rough and tumble his way into the game,
which is okay,
was on the ball.
But if he's off, he's off.
Oh, well, we talk about this all the time, don't we? The fact of the matter was he wasn't offside, and he rode the best. His look came, the ball bobbled underneath his shin, completely fooled the goalkeeper, and his team come away winning the game. I mean, that's just the way it happens. We can't change that.
And Drogba had a really good opportunity to finish it late on. Very, very good opportunity.
This was great. I think by this time he'd really, really roughed Senderos up, and he was starting to panic, and that's a great chance. All he needs to do is get a good connection.
The explanation, it would appear, is that he's had 90 minutes last week and that he's played 70 minutes midweek, so didn't start here today. But for all that, were you still a little surprised, bearing in mind you've got that information, that he didn't start, rough Senderos up earlier?
Absolutely. I mean, Senderos was the find of last season for me in the Premiership. I think when he came into that Arsenal defence late on, the club's their fortunes turned right around. But Drogba gave him a roasting, and there's no way you can get away from that. And then suddenly they're playing again in a bigger game 2 weeks later. They play a guy, Crespo, who's played and cannot fulfil the same role for me that Drogba does. Crespo can peel on people's shoulders and make runs. He's different class at it. But the way Chelsea were playing, and the fact that they had two wide guys, means there were times when they had to get somebody to front it and hold the ball up, cause problems to the defenders, to allow the players all from midfield to join in. And as soon as he came on, second half, Drogba, that's what he done. And that's why I'm surprised they didn't do that from the start. Even though it's worked perfectly for the manager, he'll say he had it all planned to bring him on and get the goal. I'm surprised they didn't do that from the start and get at Arsenal and frighten Senderos from the first minute.
We were a little critical of Bolton earlier on, Frank, because they can lean towards a long ball occasionally. But I'm sure if Sam Allardyce was here, he would say, well, what's the difference between us and Chelsea? What is on occasions?
At times, I think Bolton were trying to get as many throw-ins as they can, a long ball, and it's worked for them. And you have to work with players of what you have. And in the second half, they've realised that Chelsea have got an opportunity where they know that Drogba is causing Senderos so many problems. Use it, get the ball up the sides of him, make him turn, give him a problem, and that's exactly what Drogba does. Whereas the difference between with Crespo first half, he really found that difficult. He doesn't want to run into the space. He wants someone else to do that for him, and he wants to sniffing around the box looking for the poacher's goal.
Yeah, but there'll also be games though where Crespo will look brilliant because they will have opened up defences by their play, and it'll be easier for him. But when you're playing against Arsenal in a tight game like this, to me it was always going to be a rough and tumble moment that would change the match, because there was cautious was the word we were using about the way the teams were playing. They were all trying to probe openings throughout the game, but to me it was always going to end up where somebody was going to get that little bit of physical presence, and well, as it turns out, I mean, we couldn't have seen how lucky it was going to be.
The difference as well, like you look at Chelsea's players they can bring on. They bring on Essien, Wright Phillips and Drogba. Andy's having £70 million worth of talent, and that is the difference. And when games aren't quite going Jose Mourinho's way, he's got that, and he can change the game anytime he wants.
OK, let's hear from the manager with Jeff Shreves.
Jose, how satisfying a win was that for you?
The victory is fantastic and is important. 2 matches, 6 points. We beat a direct opponent for the title. We beat them twice in 15 days. Psychologically, I think is important because Chelsea couldn't beat them for many years in the Premiership. But as I was saying when I spoke with you before the game, is one more game and 3 more points, and Wednesday is another day and is another game. So nothing extraordinary.
But psychologically, how much could this game help you through the rest of the season?
You know, I also told you, if we lose, this game is not the end of the world. If we win, we are not the best team in the world. So we have to keep calm. We know that today we played much better than we did against Wingham, but in my opinion, is not enough for the quality level we have. We have to play better than what we did. So it's good to win. It's good to win. The season is in this moment very similar to the last season. We beat Man United at home, not playing outstanding. We went to Birmingham. We won again 1-0. The same thing as Wingham. So it's very similar. We know that we have to work to improve, but the spirit is here, the character is here. We keep defending very well. And today, because the goal was a lucky goal, maybe we should say 0-0 was the correct result. But I think we played so well as them. I think nobody was really better than the other team. But when you look at chances, goal chances, we had chances and they didn't. So I think the 1-0 victory comes good for us.
So you don't think you were lucky to win then?
I think the goal was lucky. Of course, I'm laughing with Didier, saying to him that he looked Zidane with this fabulous control, but was a lucky goal. But we had chances. We had chances to score goals. Didier in front of Lemon. In the first 2 minutes, we had 2 great chances to score. We had more chances than them. But the game, again, is beginning of season. We must play better. They have to play better. We can do it. They can do it. And if we meet Arsenal in 2 months or 3 months' time, I think the game will be better than it was.
After the week you've had, what did you make of Arjen Robben's comments? And also, can you tell us why Joe Cole wasn't in the squad?
Joe Cole wasn't in the squad because, unfortunately, in England we only can have 16. If the game was Champions League or was in any other country of Europe, Spain, Italy, Portugal, Germany, anywhere, you would be on the bench because 18 players can be selected. It's only 16. I think the bench had a good shape, a central defender, a midfield player, a winger and a striker, and I cannot do miracles, only 16. But the next game you'll be involved against West Bromwich. That's for sure. That's the situation is not good. Nobody's happy, but that's the reality. Maybe if you go to Arsenal, Reyes was not on the bench. Maybe he's not also happy, and so on and so on. That's the life of big clubs.
And Arjen Robben, were his comments positive or negative in your mind?
In my mind, the comments were not the comments that yesterday appeared in the press. Because the interview he gave was today in a magazine. I saw the interview. The comments are absolutely normal. What I think is that after Ricardo situation, you cannot give an interview because you know they will explore your words. So in my opinion, the mistake doesn't come from him. The mistake comes from who gave him permission to give the interview.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Thank you.
Fair enough. Just looking at it from England's point of view, Joe Cole cannot get a place on the bench here today, and yet he's a first choice at senior international level for England. What does that tell you, and does that bother you?
It would certainly bother me. It's a problem for Joe. He's going to need time, he's going to need minutes. It's certainly a problem for Sven-Göran Eriksson because he's here today. He wants to see him play. He wants to see how he's reacted after the game in Denmark. And I don't think it's not the ideal preparation for him going into the World Cup. It's going to be up to Joe now to force his way into the team one way or another, whether it be by training ever so well, whether it be by when he gets his chance, if he comes on a sub, or if he rotates, and then he's going to have to take his chance. But it's not ideal for Joe. I'm sure he's not very happy about not being in the squad.
Wright Phillips as well, you know, who we think is going to play a big part in England's future. I mean, that's the
At
thing.
least he got a run now.
Well, he did get a run, and he'll probably get a little bit more. You know, he's probably a player when you're going looking for a result at 0-0 that you'd throw on. But so, you know, I mean, it's not healthy. Put it that way. I mean, that's the way I'd see it. I mean, if we're talking here the way they talk in this country about England's prospects going forward, and our league is getting better all the time, but as a result, the players who are meant to be playing the international team are on the bench looking in, then you wonder, you know, what way is it going to end up?
You also don't know. Joe, he might have had a chat with Joe. He said, listen, you'll be playing on Wednesday night. Don't worry, you're not involved today, but you're playing Wednesday. We also don't know what he said to him, because he will be planning ahead. That's the sort of manager he plans ahead. He knows his team in 2-3 weeks' time, as long as everyone's fit. So he might have told Joe that.
OK, we're not finished yet, not by a long way. We've got, of course, Andy's last word at 6:30, and when we come back, we'll be hoping to hear from Arsene Wenger, who's seen his team beaten today by the champions 1-0. Still some discussion here as to whether Didier Drogba was on or offside. We'll get Andy's thoughts. You heard them first in commentary. We'll see if he's changed his mind in the last word, which comes up next here at 6:30. Not just, of course, analysis from here, but also all of the weekend's major talking points. 6:30 tonight. In general, Niall, were you disappointed with Arsenal today?
I think had they gone away with a 0-0, you'd have said, OK, they're fine, they're still missing something, but there's a lot of positives, and Kleb was the big positive thing for me today. Fabregas, I thought, had a tired game, which is to be expected every now and then for somebody who's come in and so young and done so well. But I still feel, you know, Thierry Henry is the world-class player that we know we had, gets one chance on goal in a match in 90 minutes. That has to be a worry for Arsenal.
I think Arsenal got one chance on goal.
Arsenal,
which is even more worrying,
that sums it up. So, you know, it's tough to take a defeat. It's very tough to take it in the circumstances it happened. A very, very lucky goal. But I think when you break it down, or when Arsene Wenger will do, and he starts looking at it, you know, in a couple of days' time, you know, I think that statistic of one shot on target tells a lot about, you know, the second best team in the country last year playing against the champions.
So there's still only plan A and no plan B in circumstances like this?
At this moment in time, I like he's, what is he, 11 days left, 10 days left for the transfer deadline. I really, you know, to give everybody a boost, I think somebody else has to come.
Will he feel his team should have had a penalty in the first half?
Yes, of course he will. I mean, it was there. The player stuck his leg. You'll watch it as Cole comes in. Makelele sticks a flailing leg out in the box. Player running past him at pace.
It's Gallas, isn't it? But it's a leg.
It's Gallas. I beg your pardon. But the bottom line was, yeah, sorry, you're right. It's Gallas. He stuck a leg out, and the players made contact. And just because there's a crowd of players around him, it shouldn't have made the referee not give the decision, because we saw him actually from a different angle earlier. He had full view of that.
If you'd ever found yourself in that position, would you have been looking for a penalty?
Yeah. It's not bad, actually. No, for me it was certainly a penalty. It was a flailing leg. As I say, Gallas has stuck his leg out, tried to, and he's certainly got a little piece of Ashley Cole, that's for sure.
So penalty?
Yeah, penalty.
And the one attempt on target you mentioned from Thierry Henry, and it came after Chelsea had scored as well, was from Henry.
Yeah, a moment of urgency. Arsenal, you know, knew they had to get back in the game. He's cut inside, very nearly, you know, sneaked it under the keeper, and you know, it wasn't really one of his best efforts. You know, perhaps sometimes we've seen him whack them into the far top corner from that position, but it's a poor return, and I'm not really criticising the player individually, the way they make him up. I just think there's something missing there at Arsenal at the moment, where a new injection will lift everybody and maybe even take a bit more pressure off Thierry Henry, so he's not trying to do too much. When he dropped deep so often today.
Yeah, that's a worry for me as well. You know, Thierry Henry is a fantastic player. That he doesn't start to get a bit frustrated, that he doesn't feel like, as he's captain, that can sometimes be a big weight on his shoulders. He maybe starts to come too deep looking for the ball. You want him up there doing his stuff, and I think if they'd got maybe Julio Baptista that he tried to sign, ended up going to Real Madrid, something like that might have just been that little bit of help that he needed.
Do they overplay a little bit still?
For me, I think they play some great stuff. At times, first half, they pass the weather so well. They perhaps look for that beautiful goal all the time, but they can also get those beautiful goals. So just today, they just didn't seem to get that cutting edge. Had a couple of chances. Lundberg had a great opportunity where he just lifted it over the bar. But not enough. As Noel says, not quite enough for me today.
But there was one, you know, do you remember there was one great play where they did such brilliant build-up, it came back out to the area and everybody's saying, shoot. and they tried to just put a little bit more.
He
Do you
tried to
remember?
take a touch over the
and Van
bar,
Persie
yeah.
tried to flick it over
Yeah.
to him, and the thing broke down. When everybody, I'm sure Chelsea fans were hoping he didn't shoot, but everybody else was saying, shoot, this ball's going in.
It was Slep's first start. Did you like what you saw?
Yeah, I did. I was really impressed with him today. He's a nice player. He's very, very similar to Robert Perez. He's quite elusive. The way he can pick the ball up and run with it. I just really, really like him. He's just a nice player. He's very, very comfortable on the ball, step over. Here he does ever so well. This was their best move. This is what Niall was just saying a minute ago. He's one of them players. He doesn't. He's not the most easy on the eye at times, but whenever he controls the ball, the thing I like about him, it's always moving. The ball never stops every time he gets it. I just really like him, and say 10 million. It's another one of Arsene Wenger's signings. A nice quiet signing.
And he hardly put a foot wrong for me in what was a big game in a big arena. We're saying that players need time to adapt to the Premiership. He came in and was Arsenal's best player today.
Yeah.
Simple as
Sir
that.
Alex Ferguson said when Manchester United came here last year and lost on the opening day, that was the title. Gone. We don't really believe that of Arsenal, do we?
No, not quite. No, I don't think Arsenal. I think if you look at it long term, there'll be a lot more points that will decide the title than this today. But I think Jose Mourinho will be really, really pleased. I listened to him there. He's played it down. He's just saying, we haven't played great yet, but they've got 6 points on the bag, and they'll be really pleased with that.
It confirms their superiority at the moment, because I think everyone in the street knows Chelsea are the best team in the country at the moment, and today just keeps that, in the public mind. The mindset of the public is that Chelsea are nearly unbeatable this year.
Thanks both. Appreciate it very much. Don't forget, Last Word with Andy is on the way. Plenty to look at, including a goal for Jermaine Defoe as Tottenham go top.